What's up, everyone? With 11 days to go till the season gets underway for Orange County Soccer Club, we're back for the 2025 season here to talk Orange County Soccer Club. And hopefully, you all are ready to listen to what we have to say. We have some returning players, we have some players that have moved on, we have some new players to talk about, other stuff. Who knows? We'll get into this. Let's get this thing started. Welcome to the Show of Champions. This is the Orange and Black Soccercast. How's it going, Orange County? Welcome to the first episode of the 2025 season of the Orange and Black Soccercast, the first and only show dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans, and supporters. I'm your host, Ray Samora. I'm here to take you through this beautiful journey as we discuss all things Orange County Soccer Club, and who knows, sometimes other stuff as well. Let's get into this. See who's helping us out. I think we've got our regular starters here for this episode. First and foremost, we've got Dylan. Dylan, long time no talk. How are you doing? And give me 3 things you've done this past week to help support the podcast.
Great. I'm doing great. I've done nothing to support this podcast. I showed up tonight. You're welcome. Happy 2025. And to quote one Maddie King in the comments, we are so back.
We are so back. We may have to fire Dylan for doing nothing for the podcast this past week. Who else do we have here? Maybe they've done a little bit more. Maybe not. Who knows? That's Brad. Brad, long time no chat. Same question for you. How you doing? And what have you done? 3 things you've done for the podcast this past week.
Oh boy. I'm in the same boat as Dylan here. I still need to set up the prediction contest and finalize that. Yeah, we're 0 for 2 right now.
Well, I'm sure we're not going to strike out with this next person because I know this person's been at least a little bit more busy than the two of you, and that's the bearded one himself, Larry. Again, long time no chat. How are you doing? And what have you been doing? 3 things you've done for the podcast.
How am I doing? The beard's on point. The whiskey's flowing. We are 11 days away from the start of the 2025 Orange County Soccer Club season. I could not be any better. What have I done to support the Orange and Black Soccer Cast? I've been trying to make some little bit better intro videos for the Instagram page for game day. I'm trying to practice some stuff. I got some new gear to maybe help me make some better content on game day. I have spoken to new players. I've introduced myself, and I've introduced Andy, and I've introduced the podcast to some of the new players like Grayson Duty and Liam McKinnon. I've just been trying to do everything that I possibly can to get the word out. Orange and Black Soccer Cast. We are here. We are back. We are live. Let's go, County.
Yeah. Big win there for Larry compared to the rest of us on this. We know producer Andy has been working behind the scenes diligently over the last few weeks trying to get our 2025 season set up. We're running on a little bit of a new platform here, so if there's any hiccups over these first few weeks, that's because we're still learning things with the platform. But I know producer Andy's been busy and he's been excited to get things going with this. So here's how we're going to work this show. It's basically our preseason show to talk about this team, the makeup of the team, expectations, all that. There's no match to preview at this point. That'll come next week. So really, we're looking at this roster and we're going to sort of talk about what we like, what we don't. So let's get into this. First, I want to go to the departures. So I'm going to go roundtable on this, and I want you all just to share one departure that is going to hurt you the most, and then we can't steal other people's answers. So I'm going to go in reverse order from where we started. That means, Larry, you get to go first for this. You get the lucky draw of going number 1. So the departures from Orange County heading into the 2025 season, who are you missing the most going into the season?
The guy who it was so fun to hang out with, Seth Kasipley. What a sweetheart of a man. What a soccer player. What a fantastic human being. What a joy it was to have him on this club. I'm going to tell a really quick story about the first time I met Seth. I introduced myself, said hi. I said, welcome to the team. Please tell me how to say your last name. And he told me. And then I took a picture of him with my son, with Grayson. And, Seth is all of about 5'8", and Grayson was all of about 5'3" at the time. And then after they won the championship in 21, Grayson hadn't been to a lot of games and hadn't seen anybody, and Seth hadn't seen him. And now Grayson was up at about 5'10". And when Seth saw him, he's like, "Oh my God, is that Grayson?" He actually just remembered my son's name, who he had only met one time. What a guy. What a treasure. Future Orange County Soccer Club Hall of Famer, Seth Kasipley.
Was there any doubt that Seth was probably going to be the first one to be called out here? I think Brad's a little bit disappointed. Brad would have loved to be the one to mention Seth Kasipley with the roots back to Reno. He was a great ambassador for the club. He's a great person. We all got to speak with him, on the pitch, on the sidelines, on interviews here on the show, and he's always going to be one of the greats for Orange County Soccer Club. And the longevity with the team doesn't hurt too much either. When you have a little bit of time with a team, you build that relationship. Brad, let's go with another name. Who's gonna hurt you the most? And we're getting some suggestions from DK if you want to take any of his, or you can go with your own. What do you want to go with?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with one of the ones DK put. If Larry's going to steal the name that I really wanted to share the most, I'm going to steal the name that you guys are going to want to share the most, and that's Mr. Captain Marcus Knockham. Look, we've boasted about him and his awesomeness and how he's everyone's man crush for 2 years, and we were spoiled having him for 2 years, and now he's going to go play for a top tier Icelandic club, which definitely, hopefully, he gets to see some European action over there. I do believe Valor is one of the teams consistently making European soccer the big stage up there. So good luck to him. He's going to succeed there. He's an absolute stud, and can't say anything more nice about him without taking up the whole show.
Yeah, I'm going to chime in on Marcus Knockham. He was one of those players on this team that seemed to truly want to embrace the fans, especially the CLC, the supporters section. Always looked to find where they were if he was nearby for a celebration and celebrate with the fans, which you love to see from a player. And my favorite memory, Marcus Knockham down in San Diego, sort of pushing by his teammates so he could fist pump Counterline Coalition and the traveling fans that made it down to San Diego after a goal. What else can you ask for with Marcus Knockham? Up there, one of the greats. Dylan, what are you going to go with? Or who are you going to go with?
Yeah, I got to give it to the master of mindfulness himself. We share a name, though my name is spelled correctly and his is not. But Dylan Powers, he suffered a massive injury at the beginning of last year, and kind of seemed like that was probably it for him. But he fought his way back into the team, and I think just the experience and unironically, that mindfulness will be missed on this team. I think a player and a man that carries himself in that fashion day in, day out, but also in the 90 minutes on a Saturday night is very helpful. And we'll see if that can be replaced.
We will see if that can be replaced. Don't forget, he's the one that headed the ball in Memphis to lengthen Orange County's season in the playoffs last year. Unfortunately, we got knocked out by the eventual champs in the next round. But Dylan's header in that match, it was a thing of beauty. You love to see that. Definitely will be missed with this team as well. Again, another one of those last ties, I believe, to the championship for Orange County. I don't really know. Do we have anyone left that has a tie to that championship on this roster? I don't think so, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think we have any more ties. That was sort of our last link. Him and Seth were the last links to that championship.
Brian Olowski.
Okay. Miss for me. And the name was called out in the comments. Thank you for those that are watching live with us and throwing in some comments. Feel free to do so. Producer Andy will show those comments up on the screen so people can see what you have to say. And sometimes we like to read the comments as well. Don't forget to like, share. Also, so like our podcast either wherever you listen to podcasts or on social media, YouTube, X, Instagram, Facebook, pretty much any social media. We have an account. We might not utilize all of them in the same way. So, hey, just follow us everywhere. A name that I'm going to miss, so that was called out in the comments, is going to be Owen Lamb. I believe if you can go back to the end of last season when we were doing sort of our season recap, I called out Owen Lamb as one of the best players on this team last year. He made huge contributions to this team's success. He was really a solid person to have on that back line, and he's going to be missed. Now, we've brought in a replacement that looks like a good replacement. So it's not that we're losing Owen Lamb and we don't have anything in that position now. It's just he was a great player for this team for what he was asked to do. Worked really well with the other defenders and worked really well with the attackers and the midfielders on that right side of the pitch. So Owen Lamb will be missed. Those are 4 names. There's other names that are going to be missed. If we didn't call out name that you're thinking of, go ahead and throw it in the comments, and producer Andy will throw it up on the screen. Let's move now. Let's get to some more of the positive stuff. Let's go to the returning players, folks. So we're going to do the same thing. Let's talk about which of the returning players are you the most excited that they are returning to the roster, and what do you expect out of this player in 2025? Dylan, you get first crack at this. Who are you most excited about returning, and what do you expect from them this year?
I just want to give a lot of credit to our boy DK for signing Ethan Zubak a year ago. I know it took a little while for things to get going for him, but I do want to shout him out here. I got great expectations for Zubak. I'm not the only one that's got great expectations for Ethan Zubak this year. I'm hoping 10 goals, 5 assists, and a summer mustache. That's what I'd like.
Some solid numbers. See, here's the interesting thing with that, Dylan, is the attack is going to be pretty crowded. So maybe when you're saying 10 goals, 5 assists, that's actually probably pretty realistic for someone that's capable like Zubak, because he's going to actually have the opportunity to take a game off because you have some depth coming into that attacking area of the pitch, which is nice to have because we all know Orange County, we're going to have injuries in 2025. The hope is you have depth in
we had this
the
conversation
positions.
last year. Do not
I'm just telling
injuries.
I'm not manifesting them. You just know they're going to happen. Oh, hey, let's do this then, Dylan. Let's just go right here. I bet you that Orange County will have an injury in 2025. You take that bet.
I'm gonna need the bookie to step in here, but I don't think those odds are. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this.
I'm going to make a bet that if Ray keeps manifesting these things, Ray's going to take an injury.
Yeah, that's what the resident bookie here was about to say as well.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Bookie Brad. Bookie Brad, who is your favorite returning player, and what do you expect out of that player in 2025?
Please don't call me that again. That is borderline cringeworthy. I'm gonna say, and I hope I'm taking Larry's choice because he took mine last time around. I'm gonna say a man who came middle of last season on loan and was made permanent. That would be Mr. Chris Hagart. The guy was a Swiss Army knife. He's young, he runs around a lot, and really impressed all of us, if not the whole fan base as a whole. Now we get a full season of him kind of anchoring that midfield alongside Kyle Scott. And I have nothing but trust for the man. He is really, really scrappy and a great player all around. So, Hagart, welcome back.
There we go. Chris Hayart's an awesome person to have returning from that loan last year. I'm glad they made that a permanent thing in 2025. Larry,
Brad,
you were going to say something. You were going to say something.
No, I was going to say, Brad, you weren't even close. And I think that my choice might shock some people. But my choice is Ashton. I am looking forward to him maturing more. He is, with what we've got by way of center backs right now, he's in the starting 11 week 1. He's in the starting 11 all the way through the season. He is our right center back. That's a huge role that he's going to have to play. There's some huge shoes that he's going to have to step into. Look at some of the guys who have played there. But Rob Kiernan, who else has been there?
Michael Orozco.
Thank you very much. Kobe Henry.
I'll be Skendi
over there. Shut up. Ray's really looking for injuries. I think that this is a huge season for Ashton. He is still young enough to where he can have a massive season and make a big name for himself and get his opportunity to go to Europe. So that's the person I'm going to be paying a lot of attention to see how he does, see how he's matured, see how his game has improved from 2 years ago to last year to what we see this year.
And Larry, you talk about you want to see his game mature. He looked pretty darn mature in 2024. Yes, made a couple mistakes here and there, but I think anyone in our back line made a mistake here and there throughout the season. Even someone like a Marcus Knockham or Dylan Powers, they made some mistakes. I don't ever recall Ashton making a more a larger number of mistakes in like percentage wise compared to some of the other defenders. So for such a young player, I think he's already ready to step into that leadership role. I know there was a lot of back room chatter, people nervous, that we're looking at someone like an Ashton Miles as a starter with very limited around him. I wasn't one of those. I actually was pretty stoked to see what Ashton Miles could do with sort of more of a guaranteed starting spot in this roster instead of having to fight for minutes when you're healthy, when you have someone like Powers and Nakim Marcus in front of you. Marcus Nakim in front of you. Um,
And remember, he's
but
still
that might just
only
be
20.
me.
Yeah, and remember,
I
he's
don't know.
still only 20.
I
He's still
get it.
just a puppy. So that's why I'm talking about the maturity. Maturity comes with age. You start getting 20, 21, 22, 23. Your game is should start improving even more so than versus when you're 18. Do you remember when you were 18, Ray? You had one chin.
I think I still only have one chin, Larry. Hey, you just hide your chin behind that beard. Hey, I need to share my player. I need to share my player with you all. I'm shocked that no one threw out this name, and this is someone that I was maybe nervous about not returning because such a great past couple seasons with Orange County between the sticks, and that's a Colin Shuttler. Colin. Amazing between the sticks for Orange County. That he has the nickname of Shutout Shuttler for a reason. He gets shutouts for this team, and it really, if you look at the roster, uh, with no Shuttler, we have no goalie in place. I'm sure there would be another name they would have looked for, another player they would have put in there. But I think the club is showing the confidence in Shuttler. They're hoping that he is healthy and fit for the full season. Thus, at the moment, we don't have a true backup for Shuttler. I think this team goes as far as Shuttler can take them, as far as what he does in making some saves, some stops, and getting some shutouts for this team. I think it'll be big for Orange County's success. And yeah, apparently people don't like shutout Shuttler. They'd rather have clean sheet Shuttler. I don't know. I like shutout Shuttler myself. And Brad's getting mad at me. You had an opportunity, Brad, to call out Ryan Dogman. You chose to go elsewhere. So do not call me out on that. I don't care. We're going to move on.
I mean, no, before we do move on, I do want to point out there are so many names out there that we are spoiled to have back. Ryan Dogman, Cameron Dunbar, who I said in the chat. Bryce Jameson did not get transferred, which I think we're all surprised with, but he's going to be back and he's going to be killing it on the team as well. And then Ben Barjola, hopefully, this is his breakout year as well, that he gets some more extra minutes.
Brad making sure that the rest of the returning roster is getting some love. Way to go,
and
Brad.
Kevin
Brad just wants.
I'm sorry, KP19.
Kyle Scott.
Oh, we did say Kyle. Man, there's so many great names out there that are just welcome to see for another year. Back to back to back stability in this roster, and the team showing commitment to growing the players instead of doing what a lot of teams in the USL have done, where they've kind of rented a player for a season, dumped them off somewhere else.
Yeah, and it's just beautiful. I remember when Dylan and I first started the show, you maybe had one or two players return from the previous season and you had a whole new roster of players. Now you get to a point where you pretty much have a starting 11 returning on a roster, and it's really just filling out some holes. I'm not saying a true starting 11. Obviously, we have some positions, some players that have swapped out, but you have enough players to build a starting 11 typically that are returning for Orange County over the last few seasons. Let's get to the fun part here. The newcomers. we have a bunch of newcomers that are joining Orange County in 2025 to help try and make the push for another cup or at least a deep run in the playoffs. Brad, you get to go first for this one since you haven't got to go first for the other two options. New players for Orange County. Which newcomer are you most excited about and why?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead with another young guy, early 20s, fun name, number 2, probably, Mr. Grayson Duty. We've
You
gone
did. You stole my
blacked out
choice.
here. But no, he played last season here in Vegas and was a standout player in terms of getting starting minutes as someone who, in a contested back four, really really got to get on the field, produce a lot, solid defender, and he gets to put it together on a team with a lot to prove, especially with a new defense coming through. He should be the perfect yang to Dogman Zine, 100%. He's gonna do great here, and the chants I'm sure are gonna be absolutely hilarious. The
Well,
he embraces his name. Trust me, I've asked when I came here to games in Vegas against a couple of teams. He loves his last name. Please take advantage of it.
I was going to say, I think there's been already some communication between some of the fans and Duty to just make sure that they'd be okay. Maybe if there's a chant or two, or some other aspects of uh, the puns going on with him. So, and it makes sense that Brad called him out because you got to see him more than any of us over there in Vegas. I'm going to go to Larry next because Larry's been patiently waiting. He's getting frustrated with his arms crossed, so I'm sure he wants to talk. Larry, newcomer that you're most excited about?
2023 Mac Herman Award winner. In other words, for those of you who aren't fully aware, that is the equivalent of the Heisman Trophy, Usman Silla. I cannot wait to see this guy fully in action. Um, Imagine, if you will, because I got to see him play a little bit on Sunday. Just imagine, if you will, the brains of a Seth Kasipley with the ball handling skills of a Cameron Dunbar. This guy can move with the ball at his feet. He is dynamic. He is fun. Super, super nice kid. Talked to him a few times up in the stands. He's excited to be here. He's ready to go. I cannot wait to watch him when he is 100% fit and ready to play a full 90 because I think he's going to put on a show out there in the midfield for Orange County Soccer Club this year.
There we go. Dylan, what about from you? What are you thinking? Your favorite or your most exciting newcomer for you and why?
I don't. I might be taking a liberty here, and maybe it's not even the most exciting, but Tom Brewitt for me. We need him to have a big year because, as we've mentioned already, Ashton Miles can't do this himself. And it's a thin back line at the moment. I'm sure we'll see another one or two players step in as the year goes on, but um, I hope he hits the ground running on his return to the U.S. I have great expectations for him. Great expectations
Oh,
for everyone. I mean, isn't that the whole point at the beginning of the year?
yeah, you're supposed to have really good expectations at the beginning of the year. When you're talking about all this great stuff, this is the time of the year where any team you're on, or any team you're a fan of, you should have some high hopes, hopefully, or your team is not doing things right if that's the case. But yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting. Hmm. You stole my person, Dylan. That's why I'm sort of quiet right now. So now I'm trying to think of what other names I want to talk about. Who did Larry say again? Because I wasn't listening to Larry. Who did you say, Larry?
Sila.
Oh, okay. So then I could take this one. I knew who my back was. I just couldn't remember if Larry said it because again, I wasn't listening to Larry. Whoever listens to Larry, um, yeah, McKinnon. McKinnon's going to be a fun person for Orange County. If we can all recall back the last time Orange County brought over a really good goal scorer from league, what are you pointing up towards, Brad?
Oh, you're literally saying exactly what I was going to say, exactly how I was going to say it. So I was just agreeing.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought you were pointing at Dylan for some reason. Like Dylan must have said something and I wasn't listening to Dylan, but obviously I know Dylan stole Brewitt from me. Yeah, McKinnon. Last time Orange County brought up someone from League One, if we can recall, Ronaldo Damas had a great breakout season with Orange County, scored goals. I think fans got excited over him. And I guess even to this day, I think Orange County fans wish that they'd see a return of Ronaldo Damas at some point. I believe over the last couple seasons, there's been this finger cross hope that that's sort of a sneaky signing for Orange County. Obviously, that hasn't happened. You're bringing in a McKinnon, similar type of player, goal scorer, potential. I'm hoping you have a similar type of breakout season at the championship level. I know he already had his breakout at League One. Let's see that similar type of breakout at the championship and sort of that similar path that we saw with Ronaldo Damas with Orange County. Uh, and I'm excited for that one. That one's going to be fun. That one's going to be awesome.
But did we not sign somebody who we could all refer to as Baby Damos? Everybody's looking around puzzled. Mohamedou
I'm waiting
War.
for the punchline.
War. Mohamedou War. He looks like Damos.
Like Damos? Who's Damos?
Ray's really
let's do
looking
this.
for injuries.
Hey,
producer Andy, put up a poll. Who wants to see me punch Ray?
Oh man, calm down, buddy. Calm down. Let me ask you all this: with what we know with the roster as of today, I want to get your predictions. Where does Orange County finish at the end of the season table? If the roster stays as it is right now, what would you predict? Obviously, we know it'll change. We know there will probably be some more signings throughout the year. There might be a player or two that leaves the team, but roster as it is right now, how does Orange County finish the season place-wise? You don't need to give me a record or anything like that. Just where do they finish on the Western Conference? I'll go to you first, Dylan.
I'm going to say third. We're a little thin.
Third, we're a little thin. All right. And by the way, in the comments, share what you think, and we'll put it up on the screen here. DK said fifth. Russell says fourth. What about you, Brad?
I'm gonna be so original and merge DK and Russell. We're gonna be toting a home game playoff line here, fifth or fourth. And my reasoning for that is I think defensively there is a lot of question marks how we're gonna play. Offensively has always been kind of a huge question mark as well for the team. We've either struggled or we've banged home a lot of goals, and there really is no in between.
All right. And then what about you, Larry? Where do you think Orange County finishes at the end of the season based on the current makeup of the roster?
Again, just to reiterate what everybody else said, this roster right now is thin. We are very, very thin. Healthy, we're top three. We are a top three team in the West. I firmly believe that. Injury plagued, we might be battling and have to have a hot run at the end of the season. I see you shaking your head, Ray. I see you.
No, I want to know how you all give me a hard time when I bring up injuries, but when Larry's talking about it, y'all are just acting like it's nothing, like it's just common knowledge that you can talk about injuries. I'm confused over this, Dylan.
You're actually talking about injuries. I just said if we don't stay healthy, there's a difference. Somebody could catch a really bad summer cold. You don't know.
Okay. Here I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go crazy with this, right? Just like Dylan loves my 5-0 for the opponent predictions. I'm gonna put this in here right now. Orange County's gonna finish top of the table in the Western Conference in 2025. Based on how I see the roster right now, that's where I'm gonna put them. I'm gonna be super positive about this. Over the past few seasons, it's really been more of a defensive setup, and this year we're going to be going a little bit more attack heavy, it seems like, with the roster buildup. I'm excited for the potential there. I'm excited to see what we have with all of this. I think this will be a fun team. I think we will surprise some people. And yeah, we're going to score some goals. We're going to score a lot of goals, hopefully, which has not been something we could say as Orange County fans over the past couple seasons. Really, I mean, I guess Milan scored goals, but other than that, no gigantic goal scoring. There we go. Anything else anyone wants to say about the roster makeup, the season that we're heading into. Obviously, next week we'll get to start talking about opponents, but I'm going to open it up to any of y'all.
I think right now the entire roster is built around outscoring opponents. And this kind of feels like a return to Braden Cloutier. Hey, let's win 4-3 and go crazy doing it. Or let's lose 6-0. I mean, anything's possible. I do hope we get through it, but it should be an exciting year.
There we go. So here's what we'll do. Let's what do we want to do next, y'all? I'm gonna figure this out. Maybe I believe Andy, are we ready to maybe do something with giveaways, or do we want to hold that off till later? We'll figure this out. I think we're ready. I think he's getting everything ready. I'm just throwing this out here because I was planning on potentially having something to do right now, but let's do this really quick. Or maybe, oh, there we go. Maybe.
Go ahead and say that name, Ray.
What name am I saying? I'm not saying names. I'm going to let you handle this, Brad. You're the person who likes to say names.
All right. I missed the first one, but Zamora Walter 2011 wins I believe it's a pair of tickets. Correct me if I'm wrong. And last but not least, Jay wants to battle Ray for this episode and maybe cause an injury because that's the theme. So those are our three winners.
Injuries.
We will reach out to you guys on the side. I believe, or we have not done this in a while. Anyways, we will make sure to reach out to you guys, and congratulations on winning a pair of tickets to the upcoming preseason match. Ray, take it back away,
Awesome.
please.
I will take it back away. We're going to move on. We have a guest that's been on the show multiple times. We love when this guest is on our show, so we're going to welcome on to this episode here, and that is President of Business Operations, Mr. Dan Rustine. Dan, welcome back to the show. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. First of all, apologies that I am sort of in the dark. Not intentional. I am in my car. I didn't quite make it home from work, so it's been a busy week getting ready for the pre-season. So I'm in the car, and it's dark. So apologies.
I was going to say you have excuses. This is like crunch time for the team getting prepared for the season, which I know a lot of the Orange County fans are getting excited about. What are you looking at from your end on the business side of things, and just sort of the way the club's getting prepared for this? How excited are you heading into 2025 with this team, both on and off the pitch?
So before I answer that question, can I ask you how excited you are?
I'm excited. I'll be honest right now. I mean, we just did our sort of predictions of how this team will finish the season. I went with the team being number one at the end of the season in the West. These other guys were a little bit more not as positive, but they all put them at least in the playoff hunt. Larry, you sounded like you were ready to answer the question as well.
But Dan, you know me, I'm always excited and ready to go. I love this team. I love the atmosphere in the stadium. I love the things that you do and the team that Pete and James put out on the field, the product that we get. What is there to possibly not be excited about? Of course, you being in your car, I am a little bit disappointed because I can't ask you the question, what are we drinking tonight? At least I shouldn't be able to ask you that question.
No, absolutely nothing. But at some point, relatively soon, there'll be something very exciting to talk about from the whiskey point of view.
I like whiskey.
So just a quick one. Before I actually answer your question, I hope you don't think I'm being deliberately evasive. Is the sound? I've got some weird echo thing, but can you hear me normally?
Yeah, no, we can hear you fine, Dan.
Okay, cool. All right, good. Well, now I'll start talking properly now. So I'm excited about three things. So first of all, on the field, obviously, absolutely nothing to do with me. It's Pete and it's obviously Coach Danny Stone, and we've assembled quite a nice group of new players. We've obviously retained some of our favourites, and Larry, you've been to more pre-season games than I have, but we're not unhappy with the team we have assembled. So, congratulations to my colleagues who do that sort of thing, and I think there'll be something very exciting for the fans to get behind. I don't make predictions, obviously, but it is exciting. And on the on the playing side, obviously, there's some very normal things. We have the league. We hope to get into the playoffs. We love playoffs. But there's also the Jägermeister Cup, which is, I'm hoping, as successful as the NBA play-in tournament or in-season tournament has been in terms of creating excitement. So there'll be some different things. And obviously, as always, I love an Open Cup run, and hopefully we'll have one this year. So there's all the football stuff. On the non-football stuff, so hopefully you've seen some of the announcements about what we're doing differently around the stadium. There is the new way we have taken apart the area formerly known as the GA, which will be a combination of the supporters section, the Michelob Ultra Goal Zone, and the new family-friendly Gnarlyville section. So there's a few things around the stadiums we're changing, but this is the most obvious one. And it's about, I guess, I think our slogan is our game your way, or your game your way. It's about finding people's niches and where they want to watch it. Do they want to be with the fanatic fans who know the songs and beat the drums and are the heartbeat of the crowd? Do you want to be in the fun, exciting, possibly a little bit boozy Michelob Ultra Goal Zone with some surprises to come there? And then we've got the family friendly Gnarlyville with, and who knows if this is going to work, but I'm very excited for it. The first three rows will be children only, which will be fascinating to see how that plays out. And then I think the third thing is, and we're not quite there with the announcement, so I can't say everything, but some of the food and drink as part of the broader experience will be different and potentially a little bit. We have to be. I don't. How do I say this? I don't want to give too much away, but fans might have to be a little bit careful with a couple of the new food items. But we are transforming some of that, and I think we're just trying to build that fan experience. So if you're not obsessed with what's happening on the field, at least you can have something interesting to eat and drink on the side. And so that's the sort of broad picture. Great on the field, interesting at the busy end of the stadium, and a slightly different culinary food and drink experience.
Let me ask you this, and then I'll let my fellow co-host ask some questions. Apparently, you talked about Gnarlyville. Gnarly's gone missing. A, how do you guys let that happen? And B, what are you guys doing to try and locate him? Or it, I guess. It is the proper pronoun to use.
Yeah, thank you. Or they. So, a great question. I don't know where Gnarly's gone. Um, I'm slightly irritated that he's gone missing at this vital time of the year. I very much hope they will return in time for the pre-season game on Friday, and we've got our gala on Saturday as well. And I just hope that they are well and safe and will be back to entertain our children for the season.
All right, I'll hand it off to whoever of my team that wants to ask the next question. Go for it.
Dan, because Larry doesn't get to ask you about whiskey, I'm going to jump in here. Marches to the match are happening again this year. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that and what's going on at the layover on match days?
Yeah, great question. So we're still working through some of the details. The plan is to, at least for the first game, to do the march to the match to the match. I think it was a really nice atmosphere. I think that, 200 fans walking down the timeline with the smoke bombs and all that sort of stuff. It was fun for them, it's fun for us, and surprising and maybe fun for the random people in the park at the time. We still have an issue as a club, and I'm preaching to the choir here, but not enough people know about us. So everyone who comes broadly loves it. We want more people to come, and there are people who literally live in that park and spend their time in that park who don't know about us. And the March to the Match is a great way of trying to change some of that and just begin that tradition and get people excited to start the games. So it's something I want to see happen again.
That's all from me, Dan. But I look forward to seeing.
Can I ask a question again,
Of
if I
course.
may? So the changes around the area formerly known as the GA, do you have views? Do you want to share them with me? I'm not easily offended. Do you have, you excited? Do you not understand it? I'd love to
I,
hear if,
I
do you even
I'll jump
care?
in really quick, Dan. I'll jump in really quick. My only concern when you're reading off how that's going to work, knowing sort of the layout of that area, is you have supporters, you have the beer garden or beer section, and then you have the kids section. Um, is there going to be some like beer splashes that are going to hit the kids? Do you need to have like you know, this zone you will potentially get wet in this zone or something like that, or how are we I haven't seen anything or know anything about the layout. How are you making sure the kids section is kid friendly as opposed to where Michelob is hanging out and you're not getting any splash into the kid zone?
Yeah, no, it's an entirely good question. I mean, to be fair, my understanding of how the Michelob Ultra Gold Zone will work is people will actually drink the beer rather than just sort of throw it up in the air. But I mean,
Oh,
you
come
do
on.
you. Um, you've seen our prices, but no, you do what you need to do. I shouldn't have said that. But uh, like everything, the sections are not that far apart. But you go to a stadium and you have to sort of delineate and differentiate between sections. So if we get the branding right and some of the messaging right, and I think people buy into the culture, there'll be enough space between that the poor children are protected.
I was gonna say maybe you have to set it up like you have the away section at the English football matches where you have the all the stewards blocking and making sure there's no interaction between the two zones. But maybe it doesn't get to that point. Hopefully it doesn't, right? Um,
Oh, look, I mean, we're still a small club and we're all friendly and it's all nice. And in some ways, the whole stadium is a Gnarlyville because people feel very comfortable bringing their kids, leaving their kids. But we just thought it'd be nice to have a family section. As you know, I copy a lot of things from the beloved AFC Wimbledon. And when I was a kid, I was in what we call the family enclosure, which enclosure seems like a weird name looking back, but that's what it was called. And we sat there, and that's where the families go. And in English football, there's a lot more swearing and aggression. So our whole stadium is friendly, but if you want to come and you want to be in a specific family friendly area, Gnarly, assuming we find them, will be most visible there. There will be children's activities and children's food and drink directly behind that area. So it's more family friendly. And look, everyone drinks in every part of the stadium. And the beer fest will still be the beer fest. But the Michelob Ultra Gold Zone, it's just, we're trying a few different things that just help build the club, grow the club, change the club.
Yeah, Dan, you just said that everybody drinks in parts of the stadium. Does that mean that in my part of the stadium where I am during games, can I drink down there?
Your part of the stadium being next to the field.
On the sidelines.
Yeah, probably not, Larry, to be honest.
It won't look good on ESPN if I have a glass and I'm high fiving Zubac when he scores a goal. That's bad. Bad
No,
look.
not on ESPN, FanDuel Sports, or KCAL Plus.
Fine. All right. I'll wait till after the games to have my cocktails. I've actually heard from a couple of friends of mine who go to games on occasion, and they think the idea of the gnarly family friendly zone is pretty cool. And for me and what I do on game days, that would be pretty cool for me to maybe get to interact with kids a little bit up there because they're always, I can always get the kids making noise and they're always asking me for my scarf, which I'm never going to give away. So I love that idea. I think it's going to be a lot of fun having that section. You got 3 rows of just kids making noise and going crazy. I can't see anything bad in that.
No, I hope you're right. I mean, I think look, the stadium's great and the atmosphere is great, and I hope to see this year more sellouts, noisier crowds, bigger crowds. But we've got to do our part, and some of that is about just trying to push things a bit further and just I don't know improve the fan experience.
Awesome. I'll go ahead and ask my question next. Gonna move a little bit away from the team, more towards the league. First of all, congratulations. I know that you won't actively admit that you've earned this on your own right, but a couple weeks ago you won a award from the league for front office business excellence award. So I just want to congratulate you there. Also, speaking of the league, we did see over the last week and a half, I think it was, the league move towards a League One proposal or Division One proposal. I wanted to get your thoughts on that. Not to put you in a position saying Orange County wants to be there or not be there, just your thoughts on how that played out over in the back scenes with the league.
So let me address the first thing first. Thank you. Um, I won an award, but of all the awards that they were giving out, this was the one which was most obviously for an entire staff. So it was business excellence, but I have a whole team whose job it is to do business. So it was their award. So you had to put a name on it, but it was me. But really, what I describe that award as is best front office in the USL, and that's all of my team, and that's how we've taken it. So it's very exciting. Uh, right. Oh, you wanted to ask about Division One status. Great. Look, obviously, of course, you're going to ask me, and in the way that I do, I will give you the best answer I can given the facts and circumstances. So let's start with this. Very exciting, great initiative, great ambition from the USL. It's a fast growing, increasingly televised league with a high standard of play based on, and you see it in the Open Cup, the difference between the bottom of MLS and top of USL is marginal. So, big step forward from the league, very exciting. Are there lots of unanswered questions? Absolutely. Does it mean promotion relegation? Probably, maybe. It's definitely a step in that direction. And as a club, and I've said this before, under the right circumstances, promotion relegation is exactly where we want to be. At the moment, there's not really promotion relegation, there's just relegation for us. If you're a League One team, it's very exciting, not so much for us. Until sort of prize money changes, Champions League plays, all that stuff, the promotion relegation, we're not there yet. This is a big step forward to making that happen. So we're all for it because we want real football in a real pyramid with real opportunities. Is Orange County Soccer Club going to try and be part of whatever USL Division One's going to look? Maybe. Our stadium's not big enough at the moment. There's all sorts of unanswered questions about what that looks like. They're a Premier League team in England who wouldn't be allowed to play in that because their stadium's not big enough. So there's a lot of thinking and understanding and questioning that's going to need to happen in the next 2 to 3 years. But at first blush, it's exciting, it's innovative, it's ambitious, and we want to know more and we want to be part of whatever the special thing they're building. But there's a lot we don't know yet.
awesome. Thanks. And I'll end on a bright note. I won't get you in trouble, but kids, do they look good? Are they fire?
Oh, you want new kits? I mean, if you want new kits, I think we can probably get some together for you. Yeah, look, I'm not going to give anything away. I'm not going to tell you the colour. I'm not going to tell you the design. I'm not even going to tell you when they're available. But he may or may not have some new kits this year. Are they fire? I don't know. I'm too old to use the expression fire, but I'd buy one or
Really quick, I
two
just want to
or
ask
three.
you won't tell us a color, but can you just at least confirm that there is a color in the kits?
They are
You don't have to tell me
kits.
what color. I just want to make sure they're not like black and white kits, that there's color involved.
I mean, telling you they're black and white would be telling you the colour. I mean, are you saying Juventus don't wear colourful kits?
We're not trying
It'll
to
be
get you
worth
in
the
trouble,
wait.
Dan. You don't need to give too much away on that. Larry, did you have another question?
No. Well, yeah. Actually, I was going to ask Dan. Are they from Capelli?
They are not from Capelli. They are from the same
Just,
company
just
that makes
checking.
the Greenland national kits, among
That
other
was,
teams.
if you don't know Dan, that was a shot at me for my rant against Capelli last season.
Oh, I
So
see.
there's that.
It
Yes.
went on for weeks.
So let me do this really quick, Dan, because you're an important person. You're in your car. You couldn't make it home before the show. We're getting close to the end of this. I have a little quick trivia question that I was going to ask the other members of our podcast, but if you want to participate, you're allowed to. It's Orange County Soccer Club based trivia. Do you want to do it or not?
Yes, although I worry that you'll be disappointed about how little I know.
Here we go. And this is open to Dan, Dylan, Larry, Brad. The way you want to answer is you wait for me to ask the question, give the 3 multiple choices, and then you yell out your name. Whoever's name I hear first gets to answer. First question. Before moving to the Danish Superliga in 2023, Milanowski played 2 seasons with Orange County Soccer Club and scored goals. But he was also among the team leaders in assists during his 2 seasons. According to FBref.com, what was his combined goals and assists for his 2 seasons with Orange County? A, 40, B, 44, or C, 46?
Larry,
Call it. Larry, what is it?
46.
Larry gets the point for that one. 1 point for Larry. Question number 2. Orange County SC was founded in 2010. What was the original team name? A, Los Angeles Blues. B, Los Angeles SC. C, Orange County Blues.
Larry,
Dylan.
Oh, Larry first.
Orange County Blues.
That is incorrect. It's open.
Dylan.
It is
Dan.
incorrect.
Dylan.
Doesn't
Dylan, I
No,
heard
let's
Dylan's
give
name.
it to Dan because he's here, right?
All right,
I'm here
Dan,
every
what is
week.
it?
No, you go. You said it first.
Tragically, I believe it was the Los Angeles Blues, but
That is
things gotten
correct.
better in the last 14 years.
Point for Dylan. So it's 1 point Dylan, 1 point Larry. Next question. The first professional soccer match at Championship Soccer Stadium on August 15th was a 0-0 draw between OCSC and Tulsa Roughnecks. Who scored the first professional goal at the stadium just 3 days later? A, Jerry Van Ewijk, B, Sola Abolaji, or C, Chris Cortez?
Larry,
Dylan.
Larry,
Jerry.
that is wrong. It's open.
Dylan.
Dylan,
Sola.
that is wrong. It's open.
Oh, no.
The other one.
Point
you're
for
so smart.
Dan.
Point for Dan.
Cortez, playing for Phoenix Rising, scored the first ever professional goal at Championship Soccer Stadium. Question 4. There's 5 questions, by the way, so we'll see who wins after this. According to FBref.com, who played the most minutes for Orange County Soccer Club in the 2019 season? A, Darwin Jones, B, Walker Hume, C, Aiden Quinn.
Larry,
Larry,
it's got to be Hall of Famer Aiden Quinn.
that is incorrect. It's open.
Brad.
Brad,
Hume.
Hume is correct. So
What?
everyone has 1 point at this point, I believe. So this is the winning question. At the time of his signing with Orange County Soccer Club in 2019, 14-year-old Francis Jacobs was the youngest ever U.S. player to sign a professional contract in the U.S. How many total minutes did he play for OCSC? A, 45, B, 65, C, 85.
Larry,
Larry,
I'm just going to go first every time. 65.
that is incorrect. It's open for the other.
Brad,
Brad,
45.
that is incorrect.
Dan, the other
Dan.
one.
Dan is correct. Dan is the winner of our first ever Orange County Soccer Club trivia. Congratulations on that, Dan. Do you have any message or winning speech that you want to give?
I mean, look, it's an honour to win this award. I want to thank my parents. I want to thank Larry for getting all the answers wrong first. But no, look, I will give a message. You love a message from me, so I will say I'll do my usual. Thank you for all your support last season. Thank you in advance for your support this season. We strive as a club to do more on and off the field, to win awards, to win trophies, to make it special. I can't guarantee we'll win a championship. I can't guarantee that every game will be a sellout, but I can guarantee thousands of people will be able to make thousands of memories with their friends, with their families, and with their fellow supporters at the memory making Championship Soccer Stadium. So thank you, and we look forward to seeing you at our games.
We look forward to it too, Dan. Once again, everyone, Dan Rustine, President of Business Operations for your Orange County Soccer Club. Dan, as always, thank you, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Super. Thank you.
Get home safe, sir.
Awesome. So that's always fun to have Dan on the show. He's a fun guest. He shares a lot of great information, at least the information he's able to share with us. Let's do this really quick because we talked about it. We don't have a lot of time left. The news that we had about the first division from the USL, and short, quick. Are you all for it? Are you a little bit cautious? Are you like, oh, this is the wrong move, Dylan?
I am nonplussed.
Larry?
I could not be any more excited about this idea. I sincerely hope that Orange County Soccer Club is a part of it. I would love to see us in a 10, I think it's 15,000 seat stadium. And I would love to see this team just move up the chain and be one of the top teams in this entire country. I think it's a great thing. Promotion relegation has got to happen in America. And it's got to happen now. It's past time. Let's go.
Brad, thoughts?
I am skeptical, mostly because I don't know if this is a genuine USL wants to challenge MLS or be acquired by the MLS.
Yeah, that's the, I guess, the interesting or the scary part, however you want to look at it there. The rumors with potentially Pico Rivera being a location for USL, maybe that is sort of hand in hand with this thought. Maybe Pico Rivera is looking at coming in as a first division LA market team. Orange County staying as sort of the second division team in the area. We'll have to see how that all plays out. That's something that's going to be down the road, things that go on. Hey, we're looking forward to an exciting 2025 season, and we hope you all join us each and every week. If you haven't noticed yet, it's Tuesday. We've changed to Tuesday evenings, so make sure you go and mark on your calendar Tuesday evenings, 8 o'clock, to watch our show live on YouTube. It is also, I believe, on Facebook, and we will look. Maybe it'll be on another area or another locale. I think Instagram as well. And we might add a fourth location for those that need to watch it. Before we wrap this up, what did you learn today, Dylan?
I learned that this year you're looking to get your rear end handed to you.
Larry, what did you learn?
I'm looking. I learned that I'm the person who's going to do what Dylan said.
Brad, what did you learn? Come on, be nice to me.
I learned that Samora Out is still alive and well in the year 2025.
And I guess what I learned is that my co-hosts don't like me. They want me gone. They wish I was not on. They wish that I was not around, never here. that they were in control of things. I guess I will go cry after this episode now. Again, if you are watching this, we know we appreciate it. Thank you for doing so. Watch us live, participate in the chats. We will share chats with you. We will talk with you. We will listen to what you have to say sometimes. Also follow us on your favorite podcast platform if you want to listen to us in podcast form. Preferably Spotify, but anywhere you listen to podcasts. Follow us and like everything we post and share on social media. Or if you don't like it, comment and let us know why you don't like what we share on social media. Yeah, Dylan's like, yep, do that. For my co-hosts, Dylan, Brad, Larry, and our guest tonight, Dan Racine from Orange County Soccer Club, plus producer Andy for all the hard work behind the scenes. We want to thank you for listening to this first episode of 2025. This is the Orange and Black Soccercast, and we are out.
Yeah, we get to talk while the exit's going on. I get to see Ray. Yeah.
Shut up, Brad.